Hi everyone, welcome to Stafford Test Routes. Remember to signal to move off here as other candidates will be moving off at the same time. Also, don't forget when pulling out of the car park, there is a road here with a bend. You can fail here, so be careful. The test route I'll be guiding you through today is a variation of a route that goes past Stafford train station. It has various tricky parts including multi-lane roundabouts and requires good road sign and road marking observation. The video footage is taken from an actual driving test. One of the first junctions you'll encounter is an emerge onto a dual carriageway. It can be busy here, so be careful. It is a left-only turn. To your right further down are some traffic lights, so be patient, and you'll easily be able to find a suitable gap. Approaching McDonald's roundabout from the test centre, there are two lanes. The left one is left only. It is worth committing this to memory as this approach is used on several routes. Emerging onto McDonald's roundabout can be difficult as two lanes of traffic can exit to your right. It can be hard to judge whether vehicles are exiting or turning across you. You'll need to be good at identifying blockers, observing speed, wheel angles, and road position. We've fast-forwarded some sections of video so we can focus more on the tricky areas. You'll be asked to pull over at a safe place a minimum of 2 times on your test. This can happen when you're following the sat-nav. It can also happen on busy roads. It's okay to stop in a cycle lane provided that the line isn't a solid one. You must still give priority to cyclists. Do your best to avoid stopping in front of driveways. When crossing traffic, remember to judge whether it's safe by asking yourself, would I have time to walk across? There are many different routes around Stafford, but they all include many right and left turns, both minor to major and major to minor. Always ensure you are at a relative speed to the difficulty of the junction so you can react to any potential hazards. Be patient when there's a hazard in your way. It is not a test of how quickly you can get from A to B. When you're asking yourself if there's space to continue, always use the rhyme, if you don't know, don't go. When you're asked to pull up on the left, you may be asked to do so at a particular point. In this case, the examiner asks the candidate to stop just in front of a vehicle. They were asked to ignore driveways. Always leave yourself room to drive on by stopping at tyres and tarmac. This means you can see the wheels of the vehicle ahead, touching the road. You are allowed to dry steer, to move out if required. Many roads in Stafford can be cluttered with parked vehicles. Make sure your speed is relative to the awkwardness ahead, so you have time to think and process how you're going to proceed. If you get this right, your drive should feel much more relaxed. When turning right at a crossroad, you'll need to consider if there are vehicles approaching from ahead. If so, only proceed a third of the way across the junction to leave space for vehicles turning opposite you. Go as far to the right as is safe. This means you cannot make the vehicles approaching from ahead have to steer around you. A maximum of 2 cars should wait in a crossroad at any given time. This is because when the lights go to red, you usually only have time for 2 vehicles to clear the junction, before the lights go green for the vehicles approaching from the other sides. If you're the second vehicle, try to clear the junction if you're waiting past the stop line. Remember to look out for filter lights which allow you to turn right, as the oncoming vehicles are now on a red. You can wait in box junctions if your exit is clear and you're turning right. This route goes back through McDonald's roundabout. Be careful approaching from this side, as both lanes of traffic from your right can go around. The A34 requires good lane discipline, but also hazard awareness and planning. We often end up with parked vehicles and buses stopped in our way. Look further ahead to allow time for lane changing. Always return to the left unless you're being asked to turn right ahead. This is to allow other road users to pass you on the right-hand side. When approaching Jail Roundabout from the test centre side, you need to be extremely careful. This is a big fail zone due to the lanes being very narrow on the approach. For exit 1 and 2, use the left lane. For the third exit on the right, use the right lane. Never use the middle here, as it's extremely difficult to hold the correct position, as there are no markings around the bend. Keep your speed very low and only use gear 2 as your maximum. Counting exits is crucial here so you don't end up in the wrong position or changing lanes without realising. The examiner will tell you to take the third exit. The sat-nav calls it the fifth exit, as it counts other exits not on the sign. That is why the examiner will correct it. Always do a sideways glance to ensure your position change is safe. Other drivers can get it very wrong on Stafford's larger roundabouts. There are no lanes marked on some of the bends. Aim more for the outside here so you are deliberately being cautious of cutting the centre lane. You must never drive through this bus lane as it's always active. Listen carefully for your next instruction so you know where to position for the next roundabout. On this route, once the bus lane ends, you'll need to do a full lane change to return left so you can go straight on at the roundabout. Try to lane change sooner than later so impatient drivers behind don't try to undertake you. Be careful at this mini roundabout, as it's very easy to angle slightly wrong and cut the end of the left lane off. Stay switched on at the next mini roundabout, as drivers like to drop people off at the station, then use it to perform a U-turn. Look for clues like a right signal or a slower approach. Another major fail point in Stafford lies here. You'll be asked to turn right. You need to be patient and wait for the solid line before you move into the right turn waiting area. The line is very faint and candidates often move right too early. You should recheck your mirrors before moving into it. If you have oncoming traffic, then you should turn in and try to straighten your vehicle out so cars behind you can continue straight. The next scenario requires good sign observation. We see this at many test centres around the country as it's one of the few ways we can test if you're looking for signs. In Stafford, it appears on two different roads. The road appears to continue straight on, but if you look carefully, you'll see no entry signs, and your road actually bends around to the left, becoming a one-way road. The observation at this next junction is very tricky. Approach very slowly and try to lean forward to see both ways without moving the car into the junction excessively. If you're turning left, it's sharp, so be careful not to turn too soon as your back wheel will go over the curb. The island roundabout is next. It's relatively straightforward here, as you're given quite a bit of guidance from the examiner because the markings are worn away. You'll be taking the second exit. The examiner will tell you to use the middle lane. On the next bend, the markings are worn away. The examiner will tell you not to move left yet, as the left lane exits into the multi-storey car park. Once you've gone past this, you'll need to exit. Candidates often fail here due to bad positioning. Try to aim slightly towards the curb and hug it as you follow around. A sharp bend follows, so be careful with your speed and steering. During your test, you'll be asked to perform one manoeuvre. You may be asked to perform a bay park. When you drive into a car park, bring your speed down to at least 5 to 10 miles per hour and use first gear. Heading back to Jail Roundabout, you'll be asked to take the second exit towards Stone and back to the test centre. You can use either of the centre or right lanes. The centre is the best as you'll exit in the left lane. When you return back to the test centre, you'll be asked to park forward into a bay. As you'll have already completed a manoeuvre, you won't be tested on this. Take care with it, as there could be other vehicles around, but don't worry about being within lines, as you are not being marked on it. Thanks for watching. Please visit our website for more videos.